Yo, peace and blessings to all my folks out there. And J. Masabui, to all my Ndugos and Ndadas. And buenos dias to my carnals and my carnalitas. And I just real briefly just want to touch upon the subject of us, right? We all we need, we all we got. The biggest hindrance to our progress and improvement as a people, whether you call yourself African American, Black, Hebrew, Moorish American, whether you are from Trinidad, Jamaica, um, the Bahamas, wherever, right? The biggest hindrance to us is the disunification of us, right? If we can let bygones be bygones and put aside our personal differences, then what happens to blood, crips, vice lords, and GDs? Now that we're not focused on beefing, targeting, and victimizing one another, now we can focus on social issues that plagues our community. Number one, police brutality. The police inflict violence and murder us in cold blood, whether you're armed or unarmed, because they know it'll be no consequences or repercussions. When you take the George Floyd situation, the reason why those officers was held accountable because corporate America was like, what the fuck? We got to pay all this money on account of these rogue officers going out and killing an unarmed black man while they were being recorded? No. There needs to be some accountability. So these white billionaires, they had enough at that point, right? But we shouldn't depend on other races, other entities, and organizations and corporations to speak for us and do things on a benefit and on account to us when we're totally capable of doing that, right? The number two thing that we can address if we stop, killing, victimizing, and targeting one another is DCFS, the Department of Children and Family Services. DCFS, that system, that judicial system, they don't even have to have ironclad evidence that you had did something inappropriate or against the law. All they need is the reason to believe that it could have happened upon preponderance of evidence or whatever they call it. I told you, Big Toon, say you can get at him. Hey, look, check this out, homie. Respectfully, Kim, folks. I want to be meticulous with my words and very responsible with what I'm about to say, because I don't want to offend you or make you feel like I'm trying to disrespect you. Okay, here we go. The homie 773. I had commented on one of your replies on one of my videos, and I had informed you that Big Cartoon 53 and myself have a mutual acquaintance and associate that we both interact with, right? So if Cartoon wanted to get in contact with me, or if Cartoon wanted to send me a message, he's acquainted with individuals who have my personal number that can call and say, hey, Big Cartoon want to know, can you schedule a time to jump on his live? So when you say these type of things, to me it really don't have no validity, because Cartoon has a direct line to someone who has a direct line to me. If Cartoon wanted my number, Cartoon can get my number, so that really don't have no merits to what you're saying. I told you Big Cartoon said get at him. And what am I getting at Big Cartoon about? What is it that he and I need to discuss, talk about? The situation that he said in regards to the Hispanics, like, that's over and done with. I ain't even known that, and I hope you ain't known that, because we're moving on to bigger fish that we have to address, acknowledge, and fry. You know what I mean? Like, as I was saying, DCFS coming in and breaking down individual households. They come in, they take your kids from you, and one of the one things that they do, if you have a significant other, or your son or your daughter's mother is co-parenting, the first thing they want to do is put division in between the household. They want to separate you two, so therefore they kill the support system of you supporting her and her supporting you, and they want to play y'all against each other. That's the number one thing, right? Then when they get your kids in their custody, the number two thing that they want to do, because they have contracts, secret contracts with Big Farm, the number two thing that they want to do is create these false diagnoses of your kids having ADHD, severe learning disability, severely emotionally disturbed. They want to get these false diagnoses attached to your kid so they can justify medicating your child. So here's a perfectly normal child that comes from a household where the child was engulfed and enveloped in love, and everything was cool. Somebody could have, called on your son's mother or your baby mother, the mother of your child. Somebody could have called on the mother of your child and made a false accusation. DCFS come out and they see, okay, yeah, we can take these kids and it's not going to be much resistance. But what you do to these kids, you traumatize these kids. These kids start going through separation, anxiety, they develop depression. Here's a regular functioning kid that engage in age appropriate activities, that's in the right grade, no emotional disabilities or whatnot, and you take these kids are traumatized. Now they're dealing with anxiety, depression as a result of you coming in and taking the kids. And then another thing that DCFS do in their social workers, they falsify documentation, they commit perjury, and what they're doing, they're destroying the household of disadvantaged or families who are living below the poverty line, man. And if you want to be honest, man, 75% of the young ladies and the sisters, the ladies, the women who are what you call streetwalkers or prostitutes, 75% of them come from the DCFS or the CPS system. They're runaways. You know what I mean? So DCFS, CPS is doing more harm to our community than it is good. It doesn't operate and work with the family. You know what I mean? Because it's a system that they're getting, I think, $1 billion annually. It's either $1 or $3 billion annually from the federal government. So this is legal slavery when they come in and take your kids and they don't inform you. The attorneys don't inform you of your constitutional rights. And the court, the number one thing that they do is break your constitutional rights. They don't give you a right to fair trial. They don't let you cross and examine your accuser. They don't let you cross examine the social workers under what is it? Is it Henry Melinda S? Under Henry Melinda S, it gives you the opportunity to cross-examine the social workers. Okay, you say I'm an unfit parent. You say I'm this and you say I'm that. What do you base that off of? They come in and take your kids. In order for DCFS, CPS to take your kids, it has to they have to have proof that is some form of risk of harm. The babies can't eat. They're in living conditions that's hazardous and toxic to their well-being. They're being abused. They're being neglected, and they're in a place where it can be detrimental to them. That's a significant amount of risk of harm. But a lot of these kids, it's no risk of harm. All it is a social worker pencil whipping you, and then they coming in and taking your kids. Let me get into some of these comments. I understand. Hey, in the homie 773, man, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you commenting, man. So if you feel like I disrespected you, Kim folks, I truly apologize. I don't want anybody to feel disrespected and nor offended, on this on my channel, man, because that's not what I'm here to do, man. I'm here to do my best to repair relationships between us as a whole, you know what I mean? So I try to be responsible and meticulous and intentional with my words so that I don't offend. But yeah, if Cartoon wanted to dialogue with me, Kim folks, we have a mutual friend or associate, you know what I mean, that we can send messages through. I had sent Cartoon a message. I won't go into that because I don't want to offend anybody, but he and I has exchanged messages through a third party, you know what I mean? Black parents fall that line all the time. Black parents fall for that line all the time. I can dig it, folks. No stranger to danger. Hey, no stranger to danger, man. What's the deal, Kim folks? Hey, man, I fucks with y'all, man. They think what these white folks say is valid or law. This is the thing, Kim folks. What those individuals say is not valid, but it is law. And the reason why it is law because they create their laws to protect them, right or wrong. They're always going to create laws that defend them, protect them, and gives them shelter when they're engaged in the wrongdoing and whatnot. They're always going to make sure that they have some type of scapegoat, especially when it comes to, especially when it comes to us, in regards to us. Peace, King. Yeah, but once we get it together, man, then we can become more socially active and combating and challenging, acknowledging, some of these social constructs and social illnesses that plague us in our community. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's time, man. Y'all forgive me. I don't want to seem like I'm Afrocentric or I'm on some Martin Luther King. Nah, not Martin Luther King. Just to be honest, and I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. I don't even too much fancy Martin Luther King. The things that Martin Luther King engaged in was for self-interest And his self-interest set us back over 100 years. When Malcolm X was like, no, we ain't ready to integrate. Let's build our own companies, hotels, Fortune 500 corporations. And then once we establish, and then we can integrate, because now we're on an equal scale. But if we integrate before we build up ourselves and in our communities and whatnot, it's going to be disastrous. And it was disastrous. You know, a lot of us sacrificed, abandoned, neglected, and gave up our hopes and dreams as black men and black women, or Hebrew men and Hebrew women, whatever you choose to call it, you know what I mean? But I just say black because a lot of individuals are not conscious to us being Hebrews, some of us being you know, Native Americans and all that. So I feel like black is a general term that everybody can kind of like understand where I'm coming from, right? But we abandoned and neglected our hopes, dreams, and whatnot just to embrace the American dream. But the American dream became the black man's nightmare. And that's 100. We're too passive, way too passive as it pertains to everybody outside of us. When it comes to us, man, we heartless. We'll be for 30, 40 years without making amends. We don't give a, you know what I mean? But when it comes to other races, man, we want to be passive. We want to be solution-based. We want to forgive and we want to overlook. But when it comes to interacting with us, like, we're extremely heartless, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, excuse me. And that shit got to stop, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I ain't going to hold y'all too much longer, man. I got to get in here and facilitate this class, man. I facilitate classes about how to effectively create and maintain healthy relationship and the tools that's required, you know what I mean? So I teach brothers who are in the substance dependency program how to create relationships with their significant other and how to create better relationship with their children or whatnot. So this is what I do, and this is what I get, you know, what I get paid for. There is no evidence of sub-Saharan being Hebrew or Native Americans. Okay. Tell me a little bit more. I mean, if you want to be technical, when the Assyrians as well as the Romans, when they invaded Israel, the individuals fled south. They spent some time in Ethiopia. That's why the original Hebrews are acknowledged in Ethiopia as being authentic Hebrews, and then they migrated from Ethiopia to the west coast of Africa, and this has been scientifically proven, my brother. So let's debate it. Let's get it. Research it. Google it. That there is a tribe of there's a tribe of Hebrews who are in Ethiopia, and this is the oldest dated Hebrew descendants to this day. Even the Jewish community of whatever, they acknowledge them as being authentic Jews and Hebrews, and this is in Ethiopia. The Igbo people that's in Nigeria, they trace their lineage back all the way to that community of Ethiopians who can trace their lineage all the way back to Israel. The individuals who are in Israel right now, those aren't real Israelites. Those are individuals from Russia, Germany, Austria, when the United Nations, and I believe in 1944, took Israel from the Middle Easterners, the Arabs, who took the land from the original Hebrews, when the Americans and their allies took that in the 1940s and designated it as a safe place for the Khazarian, Nazarian Jews or whatever they is, and these were people that was Jewish by practice and not by lineage. You feel what I'm saying? So we can have this conversation, Kim, folks. Y'all have to step out of the box, thinking these white folks created for y'all. Looney, founder of Men Melanin Movement, elucidate. Give me a little bit more knowledge. Ethiopia was never enslaved. That's right. Ethiopia has never been enslaved nor colonized. Even when the Italians and other Europeans went over there and tried to shake them up and divide them and conquer them, no. The Ethiopians, their lineage goes all the way back to Israel. This is facts. Where are you, Maslow? Give me some more. Because there are Ethiopians to this day whose lineage goes back to Israel. That the white or the Jewish individuals acknowledged as being actual Hebrews. And then when you get to the Igbo people who are in Nigeria, they trace their lineage back to those specific Ethiopians who trace their lineage back all the way to Israel. So shed some light on me, brother Maslow. Christianity colonized minds of Ethiopians. I can dig that, but also the oldest Christian church is actually in Ethiopia. But I can agree with you on that. This is a battle between good and hey, you're absolutely right. We spoke before in the past, homie. This little loony from Insane Cut. Much love, little loony. Shout out to my Insane homies, cut. Man, shout out to all my partners out there in Long Beach, man. Y'all continue to, put on for the race, man, and continue to defend the women and children out there against racial attacks from the Chongos. You feel what I'm saying? So I appreciate the efforts that the brothers out there, be putting forth and protecting women and children, black women and children from the racist Longos. I caught your last video on the Southerners, and man, you laid a heavy dose of game on us. You got my support and respect from Wisconsin. Man, shout out to my brothers in Wisconsin, man. I used to mess with this female from out of Chicago out there in Wisconsin. What part she was at? Monroe? Was it Monroe? Something like that. Monroe, Wisconsin or something like that. But she moved and went to Minneapolis. Yeah, she moved to Minneapolis. But this is the thing, man. My brothers, in those cities and states where you really don't have Sureños, I'm not going to say Hispanics. I'm going to say Sureños. Once the Sureños come, they pose as friends, but they're working as spies. They're going to become your enemy once they get their numbers up and start politicking. So the best thing to do is allow our Hispanic, kin folks to move into the community, but don't let them start setting up gangs like Mara Sabatusha and all these videos that's connected to the 13, the Terese. Because once they do that, then you're introducing the racial elements, you know what I mean? And now they about to come out there and they about to start trying to divide and conquer and, lay their racism down in that city. So keep them out of y'all cities, man. And I'll be saying that, man, shout out to my brothers from Chicago. But this is another thing that I want to say out there in Chicago, man. Sureños are coming out there, and now they're starting to get their numbers up. So now you're starting to see a different side of them out there in Chicago, man. The brothers in Chicago, I can't tell y'all what to do, but I will say this. That high number of homicides that we inflicted on one another, right? We did that in Los Angeles in the late 70s to the late 90s, right? Putting up astronomical numbers, right? You know what I mean? Compton had the murder rate at one point in time and all that, and we was just slaying one another. When we did that, Kim folks, we reduced our numbers. So we killed able-bodied soldiers who was able to protect our communities, our women and our children. That's a self-inflicted wound that we still haven't recovered from. And once we reduced our numbers, that gave them the opportunity to increase their numbers to come in and start taking, communities and whatnot from African-American folks. It's causing a ripple in the algorithm. I support you, Bobby. We need us. We need us, Kim folks. We need us. This is the absolute truth. This is the gospel truth. Give them some homework to level up mentally. Yeah, and I like y'all to give me some homework to level up mentally as well, man. This is a collective effort. There's Southsiders in Jamaica, Queens. Wait. I heard a Southside Jamaican Queen. Are you talking about there's actual Sureños in Jamaica, Queens? If so, man, then y'all need to, keep y'all eyes open, man, because eventually once they get their numbers up, you guys are going to be beefing with those guys wholeheartedly. I seen the documentary on that shit, shaking my head. Yep. Yeah, they pushing them into our neighborhoods. Here, people are going to these white people in City Hall meetings to complain. Yeah, man, they're very strategic at what they do because anything that mixes with us becomes us, right? That's why you can have a Hispanic individual who procreates with an African American. If that person joins a Sureño gang, being that they have black in them, they automatically consider them black, and they don't allow them to advance through the ranks, right? And a reason being is because they know anything that mixes with black is black, right? But if you take a Caucasian and you take a Hispanic, a Mexican, and they interbreed, that baby will come out looking like Caucasian. You feel what I'm saying? So they believe they believe that the Hispanics are more able, they're more capable of controlling them than us. That's what they believe, right? If you allow the Hispanics to come over here and overpopulate, all the Caucasians have to do is just start interbreeding with them, and then they regress back to being actual Caucasians. You understand what I'm saying? But with us, once they interbreed with us, 3 generations is automatically, strong African American or black features and whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? So what they idea was to do, bring in a whole lot of cats to eat the rats, right? And now you got this high population of cats. Then you bring in a certain amount of dogs to eat those cats. Now you stuck with a dog problem. And that's what they tried to do, you know what I mean? And that's why so many Hispanics over here now, and their population is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Better the race. I'm black and Mexican. Mexican side don't rock with me. Black side show nothing but love. Hey, Ryan Road, I want to show you an abundance of love and respect as well, man. That's because they understand anything that agrees with black is black. You know what I mean? And I hear a lot of stories like that about biracial kids being of African American descent and Mexican bloodlines, being ostracized and alienated by their Hispanic side. You know what I mean? Especially coming from California, you see it all the time, man. What's crazy is they're not even a race; it's an ethnic area. You're absolutely right. They're not a race. They are an ethnicity. And if you want to be technical, man, they're actually now they're actually Europeans. If you want to be technical, Mexicans come from us. Their original language was actually Hebrew before Spanish conquered them. You absolutely right. What was that? Lil Looney, founder of Melanin Movement. Hey, you absolutely right. And they got artifacts down there that's written in ancient Hebrew, and it was like, what the fuck? How did this get over here? And then they did they investigations or whatnot, and they authenticated as being like, from way back in the days. It ain't something that somebody created and just put out there to stage something. It's actual artifacts that have ancient Hebrew written on them and whatnot. So you're absolutely right about that. My daughter is Mexican and Salvadorian. I'm black, and they chastise her. Yeah, man, that's heavy, man. At no stranger to danger. Salute to you and your family. Knowledge is power. We accept everyone. We do accept everyone. This is the truth. Watch this. We can have a non-black that can perform on the level of an average black, but being that he's non-black, we'll put them on a pedestal, elevate them, and embrace them and accept them into our culture. Just because they're able to perform on a level of the average one of us. You know what I mean? Yeah, we embrace everybody, man. And that's not a bad thing. It's like if we're the parents of civilization and humanity, we're supposed to embrace everybody because ultimately they're our children. They're our descendants. You know what I mean? I just wish that we treated each other better. Someone said Rasa, so I was even elaborate on that because that's what they go by. My brother, no stranger. At Ryan, most definitely can, folks. Do you think morality is an objective truth or a human construct? And that's a great question. Do you think morality is an objective truth or a human construct? Hey, let me cogitate on that. Let me think that over. Let me do some thinking about that one. That's an excellent question. I mean, if anybody else has something that they can rebuttal or provide a rejoinder, put that up there. Do you think morality is an objective truth or a human construct? I kind of want to say both, but I'm really not the type of person that likes to be in between. I don't believe in gray areas. I believe what it says in the Bible, where it says, "Be hot or cold, for if you are lukewarm, I should spit you out of my mouth." So I either want to be hot or I want to be cold. I don't want to be in the middle. Man, that's heavy. Morality. It may be a human construct. I mean, innately, it's certain things that we just know not to do. You know what I mean? But I feel like morals, integrity, and all that has to be taught. You know what I mean? You don't automatically just grow up knowing morals. So I believe that it may be a human construct, if I just may be honest. You know what I mean? Use of 100, my brother. Yep. Our grandmas made us accept everyone. Yeah. Objective. Okay, no stranger to danger say objective. It's an objective truth. E. Berry says subjective truth. Humans are flawed. Yeah, we are. And even in the Bible, I'm not trying to be religious. I'm not a Christian. I don't subscribe to religion. But even in I use the Bible as a compass. You can read that Bible and gives you a better understanding of how certain things work. And I feel like if you're seeking a higher level of understanding in regards to spirituality, I feel like the Bible can be a foundation, or the beginning stages that allow you to go out and explore, other philosophical views and all that. You know what I mean? So I'm not religious. Humans are flawed. Yeah, we are born into a sinful nature. Well, I believe in a creator, but it's kind of a trick question because it's kind of based on your belief. I can dig that. Personally, I think God created morality, so it is objectively entwined into our reality. I don't know about that. Certain things have to be taught. You know what I mean? I think morals and integrity and principles have to be taught, because if we're not taught it, then we would be kind of like lawless, and we will we will be engaging in things that make us no different than animals. That's why they say rules is what separate us from the other animals. But it boils down to your character. Yeah, your character. But individuals have to teach you a sense of right and wrong. Don't do this and don't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. If we don't teach kids not to touch fire, then they're going to continuously burn themselves. But we have to give them the information. You know what I mean? But it boils down to your character. My character beckons morality. When we stop this division, we will see all people with melanin skin are all one people, just different tribes. I agree with you, Kim, folks. I agree with you, but it's not really us that's creating these that's creating segregation. It's not us that has created racism. That's not on us. And racism is basically just all about control and whatnot. You know what I mean? Divide and conquer and control. Have you ever had a dream or vision and you never knew where it came from and you learned something? Yes, indeed. In the Bible it says that in the end of days, something of that nature. This is verbatim. This is paraphrasing. It says, in the end of days, the old man shall have visions and the daughter shall dream dreams. Valid point. Is that necessarily a human construct or something from the great void? Have you ever had a eureka moment? Yeah. And eureka moment is kind of like an epiphany, correct? Social issues. What allowed is also accepted. Yeah, y'all bringing it today. Come to Islam. I respectfully decline, Ken folks, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that invitation, but I don't subscribe to religion. I feel like religion is something that's created to divide us, so that they can conquer us. I believe in spirituality, I believe in being spiritual and being in tune with the universe and, trying to be on accord with nature on every level. They are the authors of racism. Yes, indeed. If you come to Islam and all the Muslims will respect you. Hey, that's crazy because I have had several invitations to, what is it called? Salat, whatever it's called. I had several invitations to make salat, and get on my deen. But I'd be a hypocrite if I join any type of religion, Kim folks. But that don't mean that we can't love on each other and still be brothers and learn from one another. New to the page, and you're kicking 100% fact, my brother. You caught my ears, and that's not easy to do. So I say this, that keep kicking the real. We need more like you, man. Peace and blessings. Much respect to all my loved ones. Yes, and I say that to say it is a human construct or reality. Allah is the creator of the universe. See, I gotta watch you Muslim brothers, because I notice just like the Christians, the Muslims use certain verbiage to get you to subscribe and submit to their religion. One of the things that brothers, did, the Christians say, if you confess with your lips that the Lord Jesus Christ died and was resurrected on the third day, then you're a Christian. And you're saved and you can have everlasting life. And one thing that the Muslim brothers say is do you believe in God? Yes. Well, God in Arabic means Allah. And you're a Muslim, everybody's a Muslim. The dog is a Muslim. The tree is a Muslim. The wind is the Muslim. Because Muslim means one who submits to the will of Allah. So if you ain't careful, they can kind of use certain verbiage to kind of like get you to subscribe and submit to their religious belief system or whatnot. Let me see. Shahada, that's what it is. Thank you, my Islamic brother. Shahada. Meditate and come to yourself, and you will find the true God that lives in you. Yeah, God said, I do not dwell in chapels, synagogues, or churches built by the hands of men. God dwells in this creation here. This is what God is here and here. God is in all of us. You know what I mean? We all have that God gene and those God molecules that exist in us. So God already resides inside of me. So I don't necessarily need a religion to say, hey, I have a relationship with God. You can go off my actions and the things that I do in a community, and the type of individual that I am, to see that God is present and God is apparent and God is, within all of us. All right. Malcolm says, set religion aside. We can bicker about that after the whoo. Hey man, y'all bringing it today, man. Yeah, let's set religion to the side. Yeah, we can discuss that after the war is over. That's right. We need to unite. We have to unite. Yeah, we must unite. That's how I feel. There are universal laws. There we go. Now we cooking. Don't hurt. Don't take what isn't yours. The most religious people I know are conniving. Yeah. You got to understand, Christians went out there on a Christian crusade and raped and pillaged the land and took things that didn't belong to them. They murdered in the name of Christianity, not in the name of God, but they murdered in the name of Christianity. You know what I mean? They raped, pillaged the land, and did all type of atrocious things to individuals that they came in contact with that didn't subscribe to their religion. But in the Bible, it says you should not impose nor force your religion upon anybody. My big homie from 76 East Coast tried to join Islam. Yeah, religion isn't for all of us. But for those who are religious, if it's keeping you from, being cracked out and being a horrible person, or, living below your what you should be living like, you know what I mean? If religion gets you on track, then do your thing, you know what I mean? I'm all for it. Set religion aside, yes indeed. I respect all lifestyle choices. So do I. Facts. But religion just isn't for me either. Allah will protect you from evil and danger. Allah will make your wishes and dreams come true. I appreciate that. Malcolm said, set religion aside. He was a black man first. Yes, indeed. Babyface Loxa, what's the deal with you? What's up, Fully? No stranger to danger. Yes, Allah is the greatest God. Okay, my brother, I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate that information. I have to check. I have to clock in. Much love, Insane Crip. Much love. Beach cruising. No stranger to danger. Little salute, Keyway. I'm at work right now. Hey, I'm at work too. I need to get ready to go facilitate this class. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, macking in on your kin folks, man. Y'all stay up and be blessed. God bless y'all. And, let's look after one another, man. And let's continue to have this, these progressive conversations and whatnot, man. Y'all stay up and be blessed. I got to get to work. Rotain Kasim. One day listen to the Quran. I read the Quran on YouTube. All right, I'll do that, brother. You know what I mean? I don't reject, knowledge, you know what I mean? So I'll look into that, Ken folks, and maybe we can dialogue, a little further about it, on another at another time. But y'all step and be blessed. One love. Say it. Stay at it, bro. This is the best content I've seen in a while. I appreciate it, man. Man, this content, man, is it's cracking and popping because of you all. You know what I mean? Asking thought-provoking questions and just chiming in and sharing your perspective or whatnot, man. Y'all stay up, and I will remain sucker free, Ken folks. Y'all stay up and be blessed.